Hey everybody, thank you so much for joining us today on Comics from the Future. It is Friday and we are about to preview some upcoming comics, new series, awesome covers, and things that we don't want you to miss, so thank you so much for watching. And before we begin today, please take a second and subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't already. We've also included some links to our Facebook page and Instagram. If you could go follow us there, we're always posting and always trying to create good content for you guys, so we really appreciate it. And also, my name is Megan.
I'm Andy.
And I'm Jason. We're with Infinity Flux Comics out of lovely Chattanooga, Tennessee.
That is right, and we are going to jump into it. We hope you all had a lovely Thanksgiving and that your December is going well so far, and let's get into it.
All right, so we're going to begin with the feature comics. This is a lot of the number ones that people want to know more about. Nice to have a pretty decent sized week compared to kind of the diminutive week we had last week. So let's start with the big one.
She-Hulk #1. So it's been a little while since we've had a She-Hulk ongoing series, and now just with all of the TV shows and everything, She-Hulk is now probably as big as ever. Like, everybody's looking for the #1.
Everyone's scrambling for her stuff.
Yeah, so very excited that they are doing a new She-Hulk series. This is going to be by Rainbow Rowell, who is was the writer of Runaways, and Roge Antonio, who worked on Hellions. So a good pedigree starting this out. And in this, it does kind of address the stuff that's been going on in Avengers, where She-Hulk had become the Winter Hulk, and is now trying to get her life back in order, trying to go back to being a defense attorney and getting back to her friends and family. But a old friend is going to show up and present her with a mystery that she can't resist. So her curiosity is getting the best of her. And it promises that the last page is going to send Jen down a road that'll shake her life forever, and possibly the whole Marvel Universe. So I think they're going to be putting a lot of work into this, because She-Hulk is kind of a new big thing they're going to be focusing on in comics and in the TV show. So I'm very excited about this. This is our Jen Bartel A cover.
I really like the yellow here. Like either the yellow's going to hit you in the face or She-Hulk's going to hit you in the face. one way or the other.
Then we have an ARTGERM variant. This one has a bunch of really nice variants.
Yeah, it's great. She's just like night on the town, about to have fun.
And then, really cool, we get an Adam Hughes variant. Of course, a Rob Liefeld variant. I like this. She-Hulk is either, 12 feet tall, or Deadpool is 3 feet tall.
She's just towering over him.
But like her knees are at his waist, so maybe she's on a higher step. And of course, a Scotty Young variant.
All right, from DC, they are doing a 6-issue miniseries called Justice League vs. the Legion of Superheroes. Now, you always have to wonder with these verses, are they really going to battle? And I think if you've read comics as long as I have, sometimes there's a miscommunication where they battle at first, but usually they team up. This one, if you read about the solicitation for it, it doesn't even sound like they're having the miscommunication. It sounds like they're just going to team up. So let me tell you a little bit more about this. So the Legion of Superheroes is set 1,000 years into the future. And they are such a fan of superheroes from the 21st century that they begin this whole legion of them sort of in homage to that time. They consider that the greatest time of superheroes. Well, something happens where this darkness sort of starts falling over their land. That's as much as they say. I don't think it's like actually it's just getting dark. I think bad things start happening. And somehow they're able to know that at the exact same time stuff's happening to them, bad things are happening back in the 21st century, which that's hard for my brain to wrap around. But that's what it is. So both time periods are being affected by the same time anomaly, darkness, plague. And so I guess it is their pleasure to team up with the people they love from the 21st century, the Justice League, to try to figure the whole thing out. So once again, it didn't really read much like a versus. It read like a big team up, but I'm really excited for it. I think it sounds really interesting. The other thing is there's supposed to be the rise of some new gold lanterns, and that's supposed to happen right at the time that this darkness is happening, that this bad thing is occurring. So there's a mystery as to why they're linked. So this is a 6-part miniseries. This is our regular cover, and then here is the variant. This is by the artist's last name is Travis Variant.
All right, next up, I am really excited for this one.
I want to hear about this.
It sounds really crazy. It is called Monkey Meat. It is written and drawn by Junie Ba. So it is a new image series, 5-part series. This could also be called Monkey Meat Island, because on the island of Monkey Meat, there is a factory who cans processed monkey meat. They literally sell themselves. I don't know. This is so confusing. Anyway, it's not confusing. I'm making it confusing.
Do monkeys work at the factory?
It seems, yes, that they work in the factory, and sometimes the meat, they end up as it. So anyway, the Monkey Meat Company, they sell this meat to fund their wacky experiments. So they have basically turned their native island into a magical, hyper-capitalist hellscape. Seems to be some contradictions there, but it says where even the demons have to pay rent. So I looked at a couple preview pages of this, and it looks really fun. It looks like kind of a mixed media, not mixed media mashup, but definitely tongue-in-cheek, breaking the fourth wall. It is usually when I say something is really, it feels very indie. It's not necessarily a compliment. This time it is. Like, the art is really cool. I hope you'll go check out the preview pages on it. It looks like an action, insanity, satire story. So it's an anthology series also, so each one is going to be self-contained. Definitely a lot of image creators have learned from Red Room and from Ice Cream Man. The anthology series can really work well. So I'm excited about this. I think it sounds really fun and crazy. It gave me like a Cartoon Network, Adult Swim vibe to it when I looked at the previews of it. So, any questions? I don't know if I described that very well.
It's got a title that just can't be ignored. I think off the bat people know if they want to read Monkey Meat or not.
Yeah, you do know if you want to read Monkey Meat.
You don't read it, you eat it.
I'd say it's definitely for fans of Red Room, but it's not anywhere near that far.
There may be some monkeys falling into the machines and then cans come out on the other side.
I think that's definitely going to happen.
So next up is not a new number 1. This is Detective Comics 1047. And what makes this significant is it is part 1 of a 12-part event that's going to be weekly. So if this was a few years ago, they would have made this its own separate event book. But they're actually just working it into Detective Comics because it is by Mariko Tamaki. And this is the long-awaited story of Arkham Tower. So Arkham Tower, since Arkham Asylum got basically uninhabitable after A-Day, some people, I don't know if we quite know who are really behind the building of Arkham Tower, but it's going to be a new place to put the criminally insane and scary people of Gotham. But they say there's a new doctor named Dr. Ware, and he claims that he has a way of curing them. And of course, the Bat family doesn't quite believe this. There must be something sinister behind it. But Batman is gone. Batman in his main series has left Gotham, so it's up to the Bat family to investigate this, which I think is really cool that Detective Comics is spotlighting everyone else. I always like that when the main Batman title is Batman, and Detective is kind of the whole family. So this will also have a 12-part backup story that sounds very interesting, written by Matthew Rosenberg, where it explores the 2 houses that have overlooked Gotham for its entire existence, which is Wayne Manor and Arkham Asylum, and how those 2 places have affected the city as it's grown. So it sounds like there's going to be probably some new characters. It kind of hints at some new doctors and other things that are going on at this tower. So I'll continue with this after you see the variant cover. This is the BERMEJO variant cover.
Batman just dragging the Joker to Arkham because he's definitely gonna stay there, stay put once and for all.
I feel
every
like
time
there's
he
like
takes him.
a path that Joker's always dragged. And it's like every night Batman's dragging Joker,
There's
tossing him back in there.
Smear of makeup.
But then we also have Detective Comics 1048. So because we go over stuff that comes out in, I guess, a month time frame or whatever. We've got 2 issues of this that we're talking about. So this is 1048, part 2 of what is it called? It's called The Tower, part 1, and the backup story is called House of Gotham, part 1. This is part 2's, and in this one, the Bat family are trying to infiltrate the tower, but somebody's already got there first, and you can kind of tell from the cover who has made her way into the tower and is investigating. This one also teases a new doctor named Dr. Frau. I'm not sure if that's Harley like impersonating a doctor to get in, or if this is actually a new character, but it sounds really cool. And then in the backup story for this solicitation, it gave a little bit more that with exploring the city and its history, we're following a kid whose life has been affected by Joker killing his parents back in the early days of Joker's career, and now he's put in Arkham, and it seems like we're going to follow this kid and kind of how he went off the rails and everything. So it could be the makings of a new big villain that we see the origin of. So that is our A cover for 1048, and then the BERMEJO for that one as well.
Batman being Ozymandias at Arkham, seeing what everyone's doing all at once. Okay, so this is Daredevil, Woman Without Fear.
What?
Yep, that's right. So Elektra gets her own 3-issue miniseries. This is written by Chip Zdarsky, who is the person who did the last Daredevil run, who was the writer that made Elektra Daredevil while he was in prison. And it appears she is not ready to give up that mantle and is going to continue being a Daredevil herself, because she's literally on the cover, and the series is called Daredevil, Woman Without Fear. So as I stated, this is a 3-issue series. This spins out of Devil's Reign, but from what I read, you don't have to have read all the Devil's Reign stuff. You can just jump in and see what it's like reading about Elektra as Daredevil. So
it's so like they hit the perfect mark with Elektra becoming Daredevil. Like when they, we finally saw her costume, and you see this, you're like, why hasn't this been done before? It feels like, so many characters have been replaced by somebody, and I think Bullseye has been Daredevil before and everything. But you see this, and you're like, well, this is just a really cool character. Like, I could see them keeping her as Daredevil for a long time.
I mean, we already knew Elektra looks good in red. I mean, from her original outfit.
It's an easy
transition, yeah, right into that. So this is the main cover, and then we have this variant by BALDARI. Very graceful. And here is the HITCH variant.
Yeah, that's a big contrast between the two.
Yep. And lastly, we have the NAUCK headshot variant.
That hair is it's pretty crazy.
All right, next up from Dark Horse, this looks really cool. This is called Apache Delivery Service. This is a 4-part miniseries written by Matt Kent with art by Tyler Jenkins. It is about 2 haunted men, who go in search of some buried treasure. Unfortunately, the treasure is not on a convenient map with an X marks the spot and some nice beach oasis. No, it is in a system of caves and tunnels that as they go deeper, they discover that it is haunted by witches, they find dead bodies piled up as they travel through the caves in search of the treasure, and kind of like any great horror movie where you have a bunch of characters, a cast of characters, and you get to learn more about each other and why they're all there. These 2 men will also discover truths about each other as they go deeper. And if that all wasn't enough, they are being pursued by a serial killer who is also, I'm assuming, looking for the treasure as well, or at least looking for someone to kill. So this sounded really, really good, actually. really looking forward to it. Matt Kent is an awesome writer, and it's neat. Just a 4-part series. I hope it'll be nice, tight story. It also has to do with the horrors of war and all of that. So I'm looking forward to this. This is the A cover by Jenkins himself, and then we have a Campbell B cover, very creepy, war-torn skeleton.
So,
I get everything by Matt Kent. Like, if he writes it, I'm reading it. And that guy, he's not afraid to write about a variety of things.
from comedy to this.
Yeah.
Which is
This
very
sounded
good.
very scary.
So what era is this taking place?
I am not sure. Sorry, don't ask me questions I don't know.
Whoops. Next up is, you can ask me all the questions you want about this because I have all the answers. No. This is Star Wars High Republic Eye of the Storm #1. So this is going to be a mini-series written by Charles Soule, of course, set in the High Republic universe. But this one's big. If you've been following the High Republic stuff, you know that one of the big villains, probably the central villain at this point, is Marchion Ro, the leader of the Nile. He's called the Eye of the Storm, and so this is going to tell his origin story. And that's something even in the novels we haven't got a lot of. We just know some hints here and there to, where he's from, some maybe ideas of like what species he is. But in this, this is Charles Soule. They put him in charge of the big stuff. He did Rise of Kylo Ren. He tells the origins of our big main characters. And it seems like this is going to be a very big deal because it also mentions that something happens. It says a single kill that brings the High Republic basically crashing down, which I feel like is going to be, this will have the catalyst for how we end up with the Jedi being the way they are during the prequel era, where they're less extravagant, they're more reserved. Because some horrible event is going to happen. I think there's going to be a lot of big revelations in this. I even looked at the solicitations for #2, and it seems like this is kind of the next big tipping point in the story. And who knows, this could tie into stuff in the future. I know there's a lot of rumors that the Nile are going to be one of the next big villains, maybe set in the current time frame, either in the TV shows or the movies, that they're going to go away and then come back, and this is kind of our origin for them. So all that to say, this is a very exciting book. This is by Charles Soule, like I said, and Ryan Brown, who was the artist on Curse Words with Charles Soule. So that's really fun that they're teaming back up. There is a variant for this. There's a Common Coley variant, but it was not available. But I think this is such a big book. I wanted to mention it because people who try to get the big ones, you want to get all the covers and everything. So there is a variant. We just don't have it yet.
Yeah, no covers available, but it is available to order. In fact, it has to be ordered.
Exactly.
By whenever your store takes their orders this week. For us, it's Sunday night. So
that's the whole point of this show, to tell you in advance.
Yep. All right, so fans of Nocterra, the first arc is over, and they were going to take a little break. But I think it's just been so popular, they had something else they wanted to do. So this is Nocterra Special. It is just a one-shot. It's set in the Nocterra universe, and it tells the origin of Blacktop Bill. Blacktop Bill he may not be the main villain ultimately. There's still a lot more Nocterra to go, but he's the scariest villain. He's the, I guess, my mind's on Star Wars, he's the Vader of the Nocterra universe. Yeah. He's the last one you want to run into. He's very effective. He's very sick-minded. He's one of these villains who loves being a villain and will tell you all about it. So they have written this as a one-shot so that people who are reading Nocterra can find out the origin of this very important character, or people who haven't read it or haven't read all of it can just jump in and read one story of how did this, I guess, villain creature come to be. Because he definitely has the mind of a person, but he's a bit of a...
He gives me a lot of vibes, since this is written by Scott Snyder. He's a very Batman Who Laughs type villain.
I can see that. An unstrained from DC Scott Snyder.
Yeah.
It's indie, so he can go all the way on this. Nocterra has been really cool. It has been optioned for Netflix. It just got a producer the other week, which, that just puts it all the more steps close to becoming a show. So I highly urge you check out the first volume of it. We might even have signed copies because I think that's the one they did the book plates for.
Yes.
But in the meantime, you can order this one-shot Nocterra Special all about Blacktop Bill. So here's the regular cover. And then we have the Cowan and Sotomayor variant. And lastly, the Blackout variant.
Which I believe there was also a Batman Who Laughs cover that looked very similar to that with just his teeth. It's like a Capullo cover or something.
Yep, you're right.
But really cool.
Yep. Okay, so now we're going to get to other number ones. These are just the ones we didn't feature, but they're still very important and might be stories that you need to read.
All right, first up is Cursed Pirate Girl, Devil's Cave. This is a continuation of Jeremy Bastien's acclaimed work, Cursed Pirate Girl. This is actually the 5th chapter in his story, which has been started in graphic novels and single issues and things like that. So this is a $10 one-shot. From what I could gather, I believe this is a one-shot. $10, and there are some preview pages of this. I have personally not read Cursed Pirate Girl, but it looks really cool. It looks like a mix-up of Edward Gorey and Sandman. Really unique art, and it just looks super cool. So maybe you might find something new to love, read this, and then go back and see what happened before. This is Cursed Pirate Girl.
Next up is a book called Fourth Man, or The Fourth Man. This is from AWA, and you get a little idea on the cover here what this is about. So this is written by Jeff McComsey, and it says 3 dead bodies have shown up in a rural town, and it's up to 2 detectives from opposite sides of the tracks to figure out what happened. But the one thing that they all have in common is a pair of dueling car dealerships, which is just such a fun idea. It's that hook that you're like, oh, I can think of some like local car dealerships that, maybe I don't know any that are that crazy, but that I like that fun idea of dueling businesses and everything.
They had a bit of that on Cobra Kai between the LaRusso car agency and the other one.
So, yep, this is the A cover for Fourth Man.
So that is, supposed to look like a movie poster. Is that in reference to anything?
I don't know.
Yeah, so if anybody knows, write it in the comments. But I mean, they're clearly making a movie poster there.
And then, of course, this is definitely, goes down as one of the best covers.
That's great.
This is the Raza variant.
The eggs on there just look a combination of really appetizing and horrifying.
The Waffle House art homage variant.
I like the idea that, like, if the person there's about to kill you, they hand you your pancakes and there's a frowny face, and you go, uh-oh, and then that's it. And
I see towards the upper left, they have that butter that comes in a round container. Yeah, that is definitely a Waffle House thing. Okay, so this is Transformers Best of Optimus Prime. So IDW was doing these best ofs for TMNT. They did all the Turtles. They did Shredder, Casey Jones, April. Now they're doing Transformers, which I think is awesome. So what this does is they take the best stories, or at least the ones they feel are the best, that have to do with Optimus Prime over the years, and they compile them so you don't have to, find these numerous comics that they were in. This is 100 pages, and it's $6.99.
Wow.
Yeah, with this cool cover that matches the previous TMNT covers.
The TMNT, so many people were upset that they realized how many of them they were making. They're like, I missed the first few. I think this is one that I'm going to have to get on at the beginning and be like, I'm just going to get all. I'm sure we're going to get, probably the next one's going to be Megatron. We're going to get a Starscream.
Yep, Soundwave, yeah.
This one could
obviously
go on forever.
It really could, so.
All right, next up is Pantha. Apparently, this character has been around for a while, but this is her first series in over a decade, her first solo series, coming out of the pages of Sacred Six. So, Pantha is a really interesting yet common backstory. She was an Egyptian queen, a cruel Egyptian queen, who was cursed after she annoyed a goddess. She was cursed to be transformed into a beast. So, now she finds herself in the position where she could help the gods as something or someone is pursuing them and possibly can get redemption and maybe save herself. So seems to be a really interesting series and following a newish, new to you character. So got a lot of covers for this. This was our A cover. I have one. This is the B cover by Fornes. The SAO. This is the Saraseka variant. This is the Pianta variant. You're testing me.
Keep going.
Testing me today.
You got it. You're on a roll.
This is the TMNT homage variant. Easy. And then we have a McFarlane homage variant as well. So lots to choose from with this one. I believe there's even more if you want to go check them out. But these are the ones we wanted to show you for Pantha's new ongoing series.
Next is a new series called Blood on Sunset. This is, you can tell a little bit from the cover, about an underground vampire crime syndicate is rising up in Los Angeles, and an ex-cop is who is secretly part vampire is blamed for the death of a higher-up mobster in the city. So it's kind of a crime noir mixed with a vampire series. So yeah, this is Blood on Sunset #1.
All right, so this is the main cover to Rise of Dracula. This is the part 2 by Rich Davis following Cult of Dracula, last year's big hit, a revitalized sort of a modern retelling of Dracula, but with a lot of twists that you don't see coming. One of which is, look at Dracula, it's a she. So the Rise of Dracula is this she Dracula.
Draculina.
No, I think she just calls herself
It's just
Dracula.
the last name. I
Yeah.
guess he could still be Dracula.
So this has been optioned, and in solicitation it says a TV series is coming soon. So if you missed the first part, here's your chance to get into the second part of the series. And this is the variant cover by Sanchez.
Alright, spinning out of Death of Doctor Strange miniseries is Death of Doctor Strange Bloodstone, and this is going to follow Monster Hunter Elsa Bloodstone. This is just a one-shot, and I highly recommend you pre-order this. It does not necessarily come with your other subscriptions, and we had a lot of people clamoring for the other one-shot before, so definitely put this on your list. Death of Doctor Strange Bloodstone.
Next up is Devil's Reign Superior 4. I'm really excited about this one after I was reading about it. So this is a 3-issue series by Zach Thompson. And while Kingpin is kind of taking over the city and messing with Daredevil, he's going to unleash all the secrets he has of multiple superheroes. Doc Ock makes his way to the top of the Baxter building and is going to attempt to create his own Fantastic Four based on pulling other versions of himself from the multiverse through a machine I'm guessing Reed Richards has. And so in this, you are going to get versions of Doc Ock that are Hulk, Ghost Rider, and Wolverine. And he's going to put together his own Fantastic Four team. So Devil's Reign Superior 4, 3-issue miniseries tying in with the event. And I don't know how much is going to tie in with it, but it sounds so fun seeing a Doc Ock, Wolverine, and Ghost Rider and stuff. I know there's another cover that has Hulk on there, and Hulk has 4 arms, which is just really cool. He's like Goro from Mortal Kombat.
Right, yeah, that's what I was thinking.
So don't miss out. Sign up for this one. This one you should be able to sign up for since it is a mini series. It's not just a one-shot, but let your store know because, like always, it's not included with the main Devil's Reign series. So if you want the tie-ins, let your store know.
So this is Wastelanders Black Widow. This is set, of course, in the Old Man Logan universe. They've done a series of one-shots with some new characters, and this is the first time there has been a Black Widow character in the Old Man universe, which is set roughly 50 years in the future. It's an alternate future, though. It's not like this is where the Marvel Universe is going for sure. It's definitely an alternate future. And the neat thing is the solicitation says straight off the bat, who is Black Widow? So it may not be who we think it is. It could be Yelena Belova. It could maybe even be the new character Lucy from the current series. It could be a character we've never met before. But it will be their first appearance in the Old Man Logan universe. And in this issue, this one shot, she's supposed to be trying to break into the lair of the Lizard King. So that's what's going on in that.
All right, this is the Big Wolverine that is scheduled to come out starting in January. This is X Deaths of Wolverine, which is not the follow-up, but I guess so, to X Lives of Wolverine. So this is a time-spanning event that is going to cover many fan favorite eras in Wolverine's history. So he basically has to travel to the past to prevent a very important mutant death from occurring, and he also has to travel to the future. So it's gonna be a lot of stuff.
He's gonna have to tear himself in half.
Yes, it literally says it's a time shredding saga.
Oh, shredding.
They had to use the word. So anyway, it's going to include some never before seen periods as well, but it's going to be a really big event, and you will need to sign up for both events. There's the X Deaths of Wolverine and the X Lives of Wolverine.
Getting a lot of House of X and Powers of 10 vibe with that.
Absolutely. So we don't know a lot about this yet until it starts coming out. The Lives of Wolverine comes out starting in January 20th, so still a ways off. But definitely go ahead and sign up for this because they're already soliciting it, so don't want you to miss out. There are a lot of covers for this, as you probably expected. This is the A cover. Then we have the Bagley Trading Card variant, the Cabal Stormbreakers variant, the Garson variant, which we all love, and I don't know if this is a wraparound or not, or if there will be another connecting one coming out. Probably already solicited, actually, with Lives of Wolverine. The Hans variant.
Coming back
Very
from
scary,
the grave.
Yep. The Jurgens variant.
Whoa, that's really interesting.
This next one is the Kubert Omega Wolverine spoiler variant.
I'd be so upset if this is really, it just said spoiler on it.
And then next up we have the Perel variant. So lots to choose from on X Deaths of Wolverine.
Okay, so our next segment is cool covers and other comics. By other comics, we mean issues number 2 and 3 we don't want you to miss out on. Just special things going on within comics. And of course, variants that you don't want to miss.
Starting off, this is Amazing Spider-Man 86. And when we started this, we only had the variant on here. And I was like, the A cover is too cool. We have to have that too. So if you can't tell, he's kind of covered in spiders, like kind of with webs descending down him. Really cool cover, and this seems like a big issue. I mean, there's a lot of big claims in comics if you've read them for long enough, but this claims that this comic you'll be talking about for years to come, and you'll be shaken to your core. So if you have a sensitive core, maybe don't read it.
Start doing some ab exercises.
Yeah, because you got to prepare yourself for this core shaking. But this is the A cover.
This cover, you know, it reminds me of the term sweating bullets. Except Spider-Man, when he has anxiety, he's sweating spiders. They just drip out of him.
And then this is a big one as well. This is the McCone homage cover, which, I mean, they picked a big one to homage. That's really cool.
Yeah, that's really neat. Okay, so this is the cover to Hawkeye Kate Bishop number 3. Her show is full in effect. Some good episodes, good chase scenes, all kinds of cool stuff. And they actually have her comic coming out at the same time. I'm so proud.
Could be the first time in history the stars have aligned.
Yeah, of regular Marvel and our Marvel MCU. It just took Disney going, let's put it all in place. So this is the main cover. In this issue, Kate is trying to rescue a kidnapped girl, but she has to also escape a horde of mind-controlled people. They're people at a resort. It's a bunch of people at the resort she's at who are under mind control trying to stop her. So this is the main cover, and then we have the Cheung headshot sketch cover. I think that's really nice.
Yeah.
All right, big event coming up, King Conan. This is actually number 2. This is the De La Torre variant.
Next up is Miss Marvel Beyond the Limit number 2. So this is the new miniseries for Miss Marvel. And what seems really significant about this one is there is a doppelganger who is causing a ruckus, but looks like Miss Marvel. And they also have shape shifting abilities. So I feel like this is going to be a. So this is number 2. If we know how comics are structured now, issue number 1, you'll get your cameo. Issue number 2 will be your first full appearance. And I even looked at issue number 3, and the cover has them pulling off. You're seeing the back of her head, and they're pulling a mask off of some character. So maybe your first full appearance of their face or something. I don't know. But, this is a good time to get some Ms. Marvel stuff with the show not too far out, still coming out next year, so definitely want to check out this one.
If it's an Elastic villain, I feel like maybe it's just Reed Richards playing a joke on her.
Oh, that would be a really mean joke. And then this is the Cola variant.
And look in the background.
It's her
Yep.
again.
Mm-hmm. All right, so this is the Kyle Hotz variant for Savage Avengers number 28. Sadly, this is a final issue, and I don't think anybody really wants this to end.
Yeah, this has been a surprisingly popular, not surprisingly, but for an idea that so many people scoffed at the beginning. It's like, oh, why are you bringing Conan into the main Marvel universe? This has been very good.
Yeah, I don't think it's ending because of lack of popularity. I just think that, I don't know, the person on it has decided to go a different way. So, final issue of Savage Avengers number 28, Kyle Hotz variant.
All right, next up is The Thing, number 3. This is written, actually, by the famous novelist Walter Mosley, taking his foray into the Marvel Universe. And once again, this is number 3, the cover A. And let's see that. This is the Sioux variant, so this has been really popular. The number 1 sold out really early for us. Lots of people are looking forward to this, so don't miss the number 3. These are coming out fast.
Next up is Thor number 21. Again, this is a Cheung headshot variant, and in this one is also the God of Hammers origin issue, so seems to be pretty cool.
Okay, so this is the Jem Bartel variant for Arkham City, the Order of the World, long title, number 4. So yeah, this is the Bartel variant. And in this, Dr. Joy comes face to face with Amadeus Arkham, the person who she couldn't believe was possibly there. And maybe it means the Ten-Eyed Man isn't as crazy as he seems to be. So that's what's going on in this issue, and this is the Bartel variant.
All right, this is Batgirls number 2. I know number 1 is still not out yet, but I think you know if you're going to like this or not. This follows Batgirls Cassandra Cain and Stephanie Brown, BFFs, as they traverse the dark and gritty world of Gotham. They're mentored by Oracle. It was described as a pizza slumber party extravaganza of a series, so if that sounds good to you, it sounds light enough, but with some moments of something happening enough to grab you. So anyway, Batgirls number 2, it's already being solicited, even though number 1's not out, so don't miss out. And I have another cover for you. This is the HUGHES cardstock cover.
Next up is Batman 119, and being that dark, it can only be a Matina variant. But in this, Batman is teaming up with Batman Incorporated's mysterious benefactor. And then the solicitation is like, wait, there's a benefactor? So this might be the first appearance of some character who is funding Batman Incorporated. And there's also a backup story with maps from Gotham Academy as she's doing some more potential becoming Robin stuff. So
here is Batman Urban Legends number 11. This is the Mostert variant, which I'm very proud to say there are 3 stories in this, and one of them is an Ace the Bat-Hound story.
Great.
He gets his own story, so I think we're going to have definitely some people asking for this one just for that. There's 2 other stories in it, though, as well. There's a story with Batman and Zatanna where they come together every year to have to, like, hold off this evil. It's like a yearly thing. But this year they lose, and it shows the fallout of it, and it says it's going to change Batman and Zatanna's relationship forever. I don't know. I think it sounds cool even beyond that. The 3rd story is a Catwoman story, and it has to do with sort of what happens with her after Fear State. So, still the ripples of Fear State are being felt. But, you want to buy it for this cover and for the Ace the Bat Hound story.
All right, next up we have this really awesome Sanford Green cardstock cover for Black Manta number 5 of the 6-part miniseries. So it's almost coming to a close. And once again, this is the B cover.
That's a really nice cover.
Next up is Crush and Lobo number 8 of 8. This is the final issue, and this is the Jen Bartel variant.
Okay, so now we have Dark Knights of Steel number 3. This is the regular cover, and in this, war is on the horizon between the Kingdom of Storms and the forces of Kal-El. It looks like they plan on taking down the Kal-El forces. This is the regular cover, and then we have the Middleton. Yeah, the Middleton cardstock cover for Dark Knights of Steel number 3.
All right, this is DC Horror Presents Soul Plumber number 4 of 6. Good job, all you Soul Plumber people. You signed up on your pull list at your shop, and you got your issue 2 and 3. So here we are at issue 4. Don't forget to pre-order it. This is the B cover where things promise to get weirder, grosser, and more biblical.
Is that even possible?
I think so.
I thought it
but
hit its limit, but...
it's going to go past it.
Next up is Future State Gotham number 9. This is the Baldin variant. And what's interesting about this one is Peacekeeper Red, who is Red Hood, and Hunter Panic, the character from the there was the Mother Panic series, and now there's this new version in there. They are teaming up to learn the origin of the next Joker. So that's the big thing in this, is there's a next Batman. Well, then of course there has to be a next Joker. So it sounds like this is going to be potentially the origin of that character.
This is the Qua variant to Green Lantern number 10. A lot to take in on this cover here. And in this issue, Joe Mullen goes up against the Anti-Guardian. And it looks to me like she's going to have help from Teen Lantern as well. So once again, this is the Qua variant to Green Lantern number 10.
And this is Harley Quinn, the Eat, Bang, Kill tour. And this is the cover B for issue number 5. It's so sad this is just a 6-part mini-series because it's been a lot of fun and will continue to be till the end, I'm sure. But this is number 5 of 6, cover B.
Next up is I Am Batman number 5. This is, of course, the Matina variant.
Yep, another Matina.
Another dark Matina cover.
Okay, so this is the Jim Cheung variant to Joker number 11. I think that there's just a lot of energy on this cover. I like it a lot. But I don't know how much this cover represents what's going on inside of it. Because what's supposed to happen in this issue is the Sampson family has got the Joker finally. And they're taking him back to their ranch for dinner.
Yeah, they're
A very sinister dinner.
Yeah. I think there's something funny on the menu.
Yeah, it also says that Joker is going to learn the hard way to never mess with Texas. I thought that was a great solicitation.
Man, that is
line.
so good. I'll read a whole series if that was the only the only thing it said.
Okay, so this is the Cheung variant. Then we have the Kale New variant, also for Joker number 11.
All right, I want to show you a couple covers for Joker Presents a Puzzle Box. Number 6 of 7 issues. This is the cover B by Miguel Mendonca. And number C, this is the Fico Osseo Peacemaker variant.
Did you say number C? This
Guys,
is number C.
Nothing's right today.
Next up is Justice League Incarnate number 3. This is the Gary Frank variant. It will be in color, but another exciting issue. We just read the number 1 this week, and I'm very excited to see what happens in this series. There's also 2 other variants out for it, but they are not available yet.
So this is the main cover to One Star Squadron number 2. So we like to talk a lot about number 2s and 3s. In case you read the number 1, remind you to sign up with your retailer. It's just helpful in that way. In this, Red Tornado has some problems because there's a new hero who wants to join the One Star Squadron called Minuteman. And he uses this stuff called Miracglow, that gives him his powers. It sounds a lot like Our Man.
Mm-hmm.
So sort of a new version of Our Man is what it sounds like it's going to be in this issue.
All right, this is Robin and Batman, number 3 of 3, the last issue. This is actually cover A of Jeff Lemire and Dustin Nguyen's story together. So last issue here, and the cover A for it.
Next up is Suicide Squad number 11, and this is the Maguire variant. Looks like Ambush Bug has been doing some hunting.
Yeah, I like those hunting, the heads on the wall covers.
It's kind of a
like
Craven cover.
Yeah, definitely. So this is the Nicola Scott variant to Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow number 7. So this is the penultimate issue of Tom King's series. This goes to 8 issues. And once again, this is the Nicola Scott variant for Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow number 7.
Superman, Son of Kal-El, number 7. What a crazy and super popular series this has been, coming out with second and third printings of every single issue. So this is number 7. Already it feels like that's so far in the series, but no, number 5 just came out. This is cover A by John Timms.
I mean, that is a wild cover as to what's going on. That's like they're in the Twilight Zone, but they're picketing. They're in color, but the background's not. Like, I haven't really looked at this one carefully. I want to read the signs.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see what they said.
And then we have the cover B by Travis Moore.
Next up is Titans United, number 5 of 7. And it says this is the Kale New variant.
Okay, this is Wonder Woman number 783. This is the Mirai cardstock variant. In this issue, as in several previous issues of past Wonder Woman series, Wonder Woman races across the continent to save Steve Trevor. He's in trouble. You know, you got to have that classic storyline going on every 100 issues or so. But this is the Will Mirai cardstock variant.
Really
for
pretty.
it.
All right, next up is World of Krypton number 2 of 6. This is the cover B by Derek Robertson, and in this issue, a member of the House of L stands trial for allegedly aiding violent revolutionaries.
I like the kryptonite handcuffs.
Next up is Daisy, number 2. We talked about this a few weeks ago. We still haven't got the number 1 of it, about a girl who claims that she is descended from giants. But it's kind of believable because she's 8 feet tall, and sounds really interesting. Sounds like a very personal story. So check it out. If it sounds interesting to you, sign up today.
All right, so check this next one out. This is the regular cover to Evil Ernie number 2. This series is supposed to be the rebirth of the bad boy of comics. And already just on the regular cover, they're doing a Nirvana Nevermind homage.
Yes.
Which is super timely because I think it was like, earlier this year, the child who was in that picture is like suing over the picture. It's craziness, you know, whatever way you can grab that cash, I guess, which is clearly what he was doing as a baby. But so this is a regular cover. Here is the TMNT variant for it. So this takes a little bit of explanation. Like Andy and I were looking at this and we're like, okay, we kind of see it, but how? And Andy suspected, okay, well, it's probably just a different cover. So the cover it is an homage of is TMNT number 2, and I'm about to show you that cover. But it's a reflection, multiple reflections of a character or characters in a mouser. So that's why this is the TMNT homage cover. So here is the TMNT cover. Just to be clear, this is not available for order. This is just me showing you the reference. And the reason is there are some other Dynamite covers planned on this week. So also available for order is Jennifer Blood. I believe it's number 4. And it has the TMNT homage cover with multiple hers and the reflection of the gun. And there's also this Red Sonja TMNT variant available for order as well. Yeah, they definitely had a lot of fun with that one.
That's interesting that they're not just doing the same number 1 again, which leads me to believe they will continue with issue 3 and 4 and so on and so forth.
At least probably through that first, however many it was that were like the magazine size that had the single color, I would imagine.
Yes. So this is God Killer Spiderland, number 2 for all you God Killer franchise lovers. This is the cover A.
Next up, Good Boy, number 2 of 3. Of course, this is the book that is basically John Wick reversed, with a dog avenging his person. I read number 1 of this. I thought it was actually really good. It was very interesting. We've got some questions about is this all in a dog's mind, how he's doing things, or we'll have to see. But this is the Bradshaw A cover. And then we have the Francavilla variant.
All right, our next section is graphic novels and more, beginning with Star Wars Adventures, The Light and the Dark. So this collects the beginning stories of the 2020 series. But the interesting part to me is this is a $14.99 book. It also contains some original stuff. I had to stop Andy and be like, look at this. It has original stories in the trade, one of which is supposed to be about the Nile. And, you know, the Star Wars Adventures, they will go to any period of Star Wars, but they really haven't dealt with the Nile very much at all. So I thought that was interesting. So this is $14.99, available for order.
And next up is Transformers Back to the Future. It's a mashup of your pop culture things that everybody loves. It is $15.99, collects the full series. Basically, Doc Brown's time machine attracts the attention of the Decepticons, and chaos ensues. So really, a lot of people enjoyed this series, Transformers Back to the Future.
I heard Megatron calls Marty a chicken.
Oh.
And he goes crazy.
Yep.
Next up is Darkhold, the collected edition, which has not even finished yet in single issues. We're still waiting on Spider-Man and the Omega issues.
Correct.
But already they're soliciting the collected edition. So this is only $19.99, and it comes with Darkhold Alpha, Omega, Spider-Man, Blade, Black Bolt, Iron Man, and Wasp. So the whole kit and caboodle of Darkhold for only $19.99.
So this is the Luke Cage Omnibus. This is 1,008 pages. Yes, I mean, it's a big one. So this is $125. Of course, Luke Cage was the first African-American superhero to headline his own series, and this is going to have all that early stuff. So beginning with Hero for Hire 1 through 16, and then, of course, at number 17, it changed into Power Man. He became Power Man. So it also includes Power Man number 17 through 47.
Wow.
So, yeah, all his old stuff, plus the annual. So 1,008 pages in hardcover form for $125. And this is the Noto cover. They also have a classic Rema Senior cover.
Yeah, and it's funny now. You have to say senior because we get a lot of junior now.
Yeah, we do. So, and of course, this was the cover for the first issue, which was also his first appearance.
All right, next up we have another epic collection, Moon Knight. This is the Final Rest trade paperback. It's a new printing of it for $45. This is the Doug Minch and Bill Sienkiewicz run from 1980. It collects issues 24 through 38 and some other stuff in there, and $45. These are really popular collections.
Next up is Aurora. Before the Storm. Of course, this is about Storm as a child. This is actually a series back from, I believe, 2005, but it's being collected in a kind of one of their young reader sizes. They're a little bit smaller for only $13.99.
Here's the next big omnibus. This is the Phoenix Omnibus. There are going to be 2 covers. This is the Dodderman cover. This collects all the classic Phoenix stuff from the Phoenix's origin through the death, through other things. So it's X-Men 97 through 105, 107 and 108, 125 through 138, and a bunch of other things. It was so many others that were scattershot. I just, didn't want to just go drone on and on. So this is only $100, but it is still 688 pages. So once again, this is the Dodderman variant, and then we have the Leonardi direct market cover.
And yet another omnibus. This is $125, 2 different covers. The Thing. This collects from 1983 Thing series 1 through 36, so a lot of that, and then a ton of other stuff from the 60s to the 90s. So just a huge amount of the Thing. It's not as big as him, it's not as massive as him, but it's
a
getting
pretty
there.
big thing.
It's getting there. All right, this is the Burn hardcover version, and then we have the direct market version by Wilson.
It's clobbering time.
He's gonna clobber you
He's
unless you
saying
read
that.
his book.
Like, what part of it's clobbering time? I think he's on the time right there.
Next up, this is Batman Detective Comics. This is actually collecting Detective Comics 1034 through 1039. So that kind of recent relaunch, the Mariko Tamaki stuff that we have just kind of finished up. We're not too far past this, and that collects all of that for $29.99. It's a hardcover.
All right, so check this out. This is a Black Adam collection. So the Black Adam movie, which I am very stoked for, is coming out in late July. That's when that's coming out. This, and you have to order it now, this is coming out in early July. So it gives you just a few weeks to kind of catch up on your Black Adam reading before the movie comes out. So this is, for some reason, they priced it at $51. I don't know why $50,
Weird.
but $51. I guess, you know, Black Adam is a bit of an anti-hero, so you gotta switch up the numbering. So this comes in a slipcase. It is Shazam Volume 1, Black Adam JSA Black Reign, and Black Adam Rise and Fall of an Empire. So the three main things that he's been in over the years is what you will get there for $51.
They just released a new picture today of The Rock in a hood with his glowing golden eyes, so
Nice.
it's getting there.
All right, this is Joker War Saga, trade paperback for $30. So this was actually already collected in hardcover, and DC likes to wait a little while, let you get the hardcover, and then they'll put out their paperback. So that is what this is. It includes all of the tie-ins and the main storyline written by James Tynion IV. So if you want it or didn't get the hardcover, this is $30.
All right, and that is our show for this week. We hope we have shown you all the comics that you care about and want to order. We hope that you've been making a little list. You're going to tell your comic store which ones you want. But that is us.
Make your list, check it twice. Gonna get to all those puns soon. So thank you all very much for watching. If you haven't, please take a second to subscribe to our channel. We really appreciate it. And we will see you next week.